are talking about 1 Bligh Street in Sydney, Australia, which is the winner of the Best Tall Building in Asia and Australasia Award for 2012. And we're with Bruce McDonald of Dexus Property Group, who is the building owner, and Christoph Ingenhoven from Dusseldorf, the architect behind the building. I think the real news here, and tell me if you agree, is that there are so many cities with really boxed-in areas from legacy buildings, and one of the greatest features of this building is that it really opens up what was formerly kind of a concrete canyon area. Is that right?
We're off waterfront, and the views of Sydney Harbor are just incredible if you can maximize them. And so the challenge there is the site had this potential, and we aggregated and bought further parcels so we could get this big curve expanse, elliptical shape to maximize those views. So tall wasn't as important as to get this really captured opportunity that we had. Sydney Bridge, Botanical Gardens, Sydney Harbor, all of that, and we're in the central business district. We had this A location. We had to figure out how to go through that canyon and pick it all up. And Christoph and Ray Brown, our local architect from Australia, really knew the dynamic of the city. And then Christoph brought the boldness of the architecture, and it's just a great combination.
I think if you look to a city like Sydney, then you see a lot of gifts around. Yeah, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is a human-made gift, and the harbour and the rocks and the whole seawater, fjord, and the river is something like a gift given by, God, right? And the people of Sydney didn't do anything about that, really. They just use it, right? So I think my idea is always like giving something back or adding something to that gift. And I think if you mentioned Botanical Garden, for example, that is something where the overall load of that gift has been getting bigger, right? Because somebody invented the Botanical Garden. And if you do a building like 1 Bligh, I think it is the opportunity, it's the responsibility of the architect and the owner to do something for that. What can you add to Sydney? Not just a beautiful building. Okay, that's obvious, right? You have to do that. But can you add something else? And I think we added something, and we agreed all about that this is important. We added a part to Farrer Place, make that triangular space that was overshadowed nearly the whole year a sunny place, because we offered something which we owned, or you owned, because we own the site, and we give something from the site back to the people. And that makes it possible today that the people all the day, all the year, sit in a comfortable situation on the stairs. And we offered a public ground floor, and a shortcut from Bligh to Farrer Place, and things like that. So we've given nearly all the site back to the people of Sydney. And I think that was a minimum we could do. And on the other hand, we earned back, because we could shift the building into the view. And they're selling the view in Sydney. And then we try to use that view really, because when I first come to Sydney for that project, we visited a lot of other buildings. And what we saw there is that with the most beautiful view in the world, they have all shut down by screens, by black screens, to make sure that the glare is not too much into their working stations, right, to the screens. And so we decided not to do like that. And the double skin makes possible that
double skin facade.
Yeah. That you enjoy the view, and at the same time stay away from that glare and sun gain. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of thoughts around, to make sure that the building has more than just a good quality.
There's certainly a lot to talk about this building, but Bruce, what's the news headline here that maybe doesn't get discussed a lot about a building like this that you really like to talk about?
Well, we're the first 6-star Green Star building in our country, and it's not easy to achieve that. So there's many components that make up how we get to that. So not only being efficient, but when I think of the atrium, I think of inefficiency all of a sudden. Sometimes it's hard to climatize an atrium. The atrium to me of this building is an absolute win from a architectural bonus. Because when you see the building, architecturally from the outside, you're drawn to it for all these different reasons. And then you enter, and you get like a whole new experience. And you're looking up into this full-height atrium. It was all the way to the roof.
It's a real surprise, right?
It's a surprise, but it's always moving. It's real special because now you have all this light that's coming through from the clear glass, all the way from the outside in, that's pouring in. You got light pouring down. You got light coming from the bottom up, and it's super light. The structure has this lightness in it, and you can't stop from craning your neck up. We get tourists coming in and out of the building all the time, and that's all they're there. They're just looking up, and it's like running through the turnstile. So to me, people that work in the building are getting that fresh air. They're getting this whole different vibe from when they looked at the building when they came to work that morning. It's all about the full height atrium to me and keeping operational performance and efficiency.
There are a lot of purists out there who would say that you've lost some leasable square footage here with the atrium in the middle. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me like quite the opposite is true, that it makes this building a lot more valuable. Is that right?
That's right. I mean, the building could have been much bigger. Bigger means taller. But the total amount of square meters was fixed. So we are not losing any square meter. We are earning square meters with that, because there are two different awards we got. One award was for 4% of the NFA of the building was additional awarded by the council because it is natural ventilated. So it was not count for the GFA. And then we got a design excellent rating by the council. And again, we got 10% GFA extra. So in fact, it's 14% bigger than it was permittable before. The atrium is pure outside air quality area. It's not a building. I mean, it's
not occupied
space.
space.
It's not looked as building.
Yeah. So the efficiency is high.
Yeah.
Quite costly. But one thing that's costly can be quite rewarding. We're 94% leased with just the who's who of tenants in the country. So, you know, sometimes you have to stretch and take that risk because all the skin in and out of the building makes it quite costly. But it's very efficient on a floor plate standpoint.
Yeah. And then again, I think it's not the tallest building there, by far not. And it's not the most spectacular form, maybe. What it is looked at bigger brothers to smaller one in the middle, but I think it's a very, very special position. You see that from the harbor and as well from far place and everywhere, that the building has a very special position in between these bigger ones, having a clear, free view to the harbor, a little bit to Bondi, a little bit back to the city. And I think it is, because it has this fifth facade, it has, even on your book, it has a photograph from the top down to the building, right? It's just possible because it's not such a big, tall building. It's just 150 meters.
The fifth facade.
Yeah, the fifth facade, right? And it's a very spatial experience. What we created there, much more spatial experience than you have normally in a high rise. And I give you an example for that, because you ask him what is your most beloved detail or whatever aspect of the building. I think one of the, for me, most sympathetic aspects is that if you look to a normal high-rise, you see other people working there, even if it is tens, thousands of square meters. You just see them in the lobby or in the lift by accident. Yeah, and that's it. And in this case, the sense of community is so much bigger because we have that atrium. And everybody can look from the back of the atrium into the tenant space, in every tenant space. Even the Clayton Woods people who are lawyers should have a little distance to the public. They are completely open and transparent. You look to them, to the cafeteria, to the offices and so on. And that makes it a real community there. It's a big difference to normal high-rises.
Well, I want to thank you for dropping by to see us, and congratulations on the Best Tall Building Asia and Australasia Award.
Yeah, we appreciate the gratitude and the invitation. Thanks.
Thank you.